Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Snakebite. I'm James Simpson. This is Carl Van Gelder. We have an excellent show ahead of us for you. Basketball, lacrosse, you know it, you love it. It's Mocs Athletics. This is the Snakebite.
And if we're starting a show off with something other than basketball, you know someone showed out, and that someone is the #2 women's lacrosse team. A brief aside, the Mocs are the only team inside the top 5 to have played a game yet this season, and spoiler, they're 3-0, all on the road. Their first game was a heated back-and-forth matchup against #9 ranked Flagler. The Mocs found themselves down early 0-4 in the matchup, but fought back, scoring 3 straight goals before ending the first down 5-7. Florida Southern didn't stay down for long, though, rallying in the second with 6 straight goals after a quick score by Flagler, finishing the quarter up 11-9. Flagler showed they weren't done yet with a strong third where they outscored the Mocs 6-5 in the back-and-forth quarter that ended with the Mocs up just 1 in the 16-5 game. But in the final quarter of play, the Mocs scored 7 to Flagler's 1 into the 23-16 victory. The Mocs were led by the wicked good #2 to all-time scorer, Jackie Stoller, with her 7 goals and 2 assists in the matchup.
Yeah, and Carl, it was no rest for the Wicked as the Mocs traveled to Huntsville, Alabama to take on UIndy and the University of Alabama Huntsville. The first half of Friday's game against the Greyhounds was fairly even as freshman Colby Cohen tallied her first career goal to knot the game at 4 apiece. The Mocs opened the second quarter with a 3-goal run that put them up 7-4 before UIndy brought the game back within 1. But the game was blown open by a Mocs 10-goal third quarter. Stoller and Terre scored 3 apiece. Hannah Hale notched 2, and freshman Audrey Kennelly got in on the action with her first career goal. They used that cushion to breeze to a 22-14 victory. Then on Sunday, the women took on the Chargers, and it was more of the same from the Mocs. Stoller led the offense with 6 goals, 3 assists, ahead of strong performances from the entire offensive unit. And Mackenzie Gagan and Riley Rittberg continued to split time in the net. It was all Mocs all day. They took home the W, 20-5. And if you were struggling to keep track of Stoller's amazing weekend, do not worry. The SSC League office was keeping close tabs. 18 goals and 9 assists were good for her second SSC Offensive Player of the Week award. The Mocs will host #6 Adelphi this Sunday in their home opener at 5 p.m.
And moving over to men's basketball, with limited games remaining in the regular season, every game is a big one for postseason play. This past week's action started out with a home game against St. Leo a week ago tonight, and much like their battle in Dade City last month, this game was full of action from 2 overtimes to SportsCenter top 10 plays. Connor Raines opened up scoring in this close game with a 3 just 13 seconds into the game and was a back-and-forth first half that found the Mocs up 2 going into half. With neither team being able to pull away after 40 minutes, they both found themselves in overtime where craziness ensued. In the overtime period, it remained close, but it looked as if the Mocs would pull away with just seconds left on the clock for a St. Leo inbound on their own baseline. But by way of a veteran move by graduate Cannon Coster, he made this acrobatic play and 3.
So let's see what they do. He's got to pass it long. I don't see how he can not do that. That's as far as he can go. And it's knocked out. He throws the 3 up. He got it! He got it! Coster nails the 3, and we're going to go to a second overtime, I think.
That tied things up, showed up on SportsCenter, and pushed the game to second overtime, where back-to-back SSC Player of the Week, Akol Arope, showed out. Arope continued his dominant performance with some clutch buckets, followed by 2 Luke Anderson free throws, giving the Mocs the 110-108 double overtime victory. Arope led the way in scoring for the Mocs with 25 in regulation and 12 more in overtime to help complete the season sweep of St. Leo in the win. Our very own Billy Adams caught up with Akol after the game.
I'm here with moccasin forward Akol Arope in what was, it's hard to even say dominant. I mean, tremendous and really an out-of-this-world performance. Akol, you came into this season and nobody knew what the expectation was. What we knew is you're from Nebraska and you obviously come in with a lot of basketball IQ and experience, but 37 points in back-to-back career-high performances. How are you feeling right now, man?
Ecstatic, you know what I mean? Huge win for us tonight, man, and I give it all to my team, man. Going to double overtime and continue to fight throughout. I mean, but that's been us all season. You know, we've been really resilient. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I'm just so excited. But you know, the job's not finished. Satisfied because season's not over. We still have 4 more games left, and we're not there to where we want to be. You know what I mean? And so we're taking one game at a time. So.
And you talk about taking it one game at a time. We knew coming in this St. Leo team, while despite being 9-13, I mean, they're strong. When they make their shots, they're one of the more dangerous teams in the conference. Do you feel like that's the expectation moving forward with these final 4 games?
Yeah, definitely. It's crunch time, you know what I mean? In the regular season, like St. Leo, they're fighting for position to be in our the conference tournament. And all around, everyone is good in this conference, you know what I mean? It's not going to be a night where we're just going to blow out teams where we did earlier in the year. We're going to get everyone's best, especially this time of the season. So we have another tough one at Lynn. We got them here, but you know what I mean. It's going to be a dogfight going over there. And props to St. Leo, you know what I mean, for not giving up at all today. Cannon Coster with a big shot to the first overtime, sending the second. But no, yeah, you know, give credit to them today because they didn't give up. They fought the whole entire time.
And speaking of fight, I mean, you guys have just been dealt hand after hand with misfortune. I mean, we saw a couple injuries at the beginning of the season. We thought you and Luke Anderson against Barry had a little bit of misfortune, but thankfully it was just cramps. You guys are all right. But the consistent thing we've seen, it's the next man up mentality. Do you feel like that's what has carried you guys forward up to this point? Yeah,
I mean, it's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? We've already been through a lot adversity with Jaden going down. You know, season now Steen is kind of out. He'll be back eventually, you know, to the season. But that's the thing. Like I said, we're resilient. You know what I mean? And batting through adversity, and whatever your name is, call the next guy up. You know what I mean? But that's just who we are. We know we want to win, and we're competing, and that's at a high level too. And so yeah.
Well, you guys have done a tremendous job this season, and for you, 37 points, my man. Go enjoy it, go celebrate it, and good luck this weekend at Lynn. From all of us at FSC TV, and signing off for the final time, Billy Adams, back to you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. 2 Mocs had career highs in points in Arope's 37 and Anderson's 32, with both players pulling down 12 boards each. Dom Denny didn't miss out on the fun either, though, with 15 points and 12 assists in the win. Our very own Emma Lauren Poole was able to catch up with Anderson following the victory.
I'm here with Luke Anderson after a riveting double overtime game against St. Leo. You tired?
Very, but it's a lot less tired after you get a big-time win.
For sure, for sure. And a new career high for you tonight. Let's focus on that individual aspect. How does it feel?
Great. I mean, I feel like my teammates look for me. I love playing with everyone out there. The gym was amazing, like the atmosphere. They hit a big-time shot, and we never let down and never gave up, so it was awesome.
And this season, it's been close for both matchups between you and the St. Leo Lions. What did the team kind of think? What was the mindset absolutely just going into this?
Just win at all costs. Get a big-time win, play together, and we did it. And, I mean, it was amazing. Amazing to see.
And you did that indeed. So how does this shape the team's mindset going into the end and the remainder of the season?
We just talked about it down there. 4 games left. We go to Lynn this weekend. We kicked their butt last time, but they're going to be ready to play us at home. They have a great crowd. We got to take care of business. We're 18-7. We control our own destiny. That's all that matters.
That's right. Thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
And after the thriller against St. Leo, the Mocs turned their attention to the Lynn Fighting Knights. And James, let's hear about that.
Yeah, man, that is right, KVG. Down in Boca, the Mocs scored early, netting 7 of the game's first 9 points before Lynn would open up a 10-point lead just 9 minutes in. The Mocs battled back to regain a 1-point lead before both teams were unable to score for the final 2 minutes and 19 seconds of the first half. The scoring would come back quick in the second half, though, with the Fighting Knights. They started the second half with a 9-0 run. The Mocs did respond, and they did so behind their star forward, Nicole Arope, who took the lead with an emphatic slam with 7 minutes left in the game. Behind Arope's 21 and Denny's 20, the Mocs defeat Lynn in 87-79 in a gritty road win. Looking at the conference standings, Nova Southeastern has all but locked up the top seed, while the Mocs hold a comfortable position in second. With many teams having only 3 or 4 games remaining, the standings still have some time to shuffle, especially in the middle there. That'll be key in determining first-round matchups. But for the Mocs, they just need to keep at it, taking one game at a time and they need to win some games. They'll look to continue that with a home game tonight versus Florida Tech, a team that beat them in Melbourne back in early January before traveling down to face the number 2 team in the country, who we beat earlier this season, Nova Southeastern. We hope to see you in the Fieldhouse Wednesday, but if you can't make it, you can watch the game live. FSCMocs.com/live. Fun week for the Mocs.
Absolutely, James, but the women didn't let the men have all the fun against St. Leo, taking care of business too in an overtime victory. From the first few minutes of the game, we got a taste of what the rest would look like, with both teams trading blows with strong offensive and defensive possessions in what was a chess match. Both teams remained relatively even going into the second, with the Mocs down 14-6, but Florida Southern struggled to keep it going with just 9 second quarter points to St. Leo's 18. The Mocs went into half down 11 in need of a spark, and that's exactly what they got in the second half, starting off on fire from 3, making 2 quick triples to start the half. Florida Southern gradually got the game back and tied with a strong second half rally, pushing the game to overtime, and in overtime the Mocs jumped out into the lead first before continuing to go back and forth, with St. Leo ultimately pulling away in the end with clutch points and assists from Cindy Gomes in a career night. And I was able to catch Gomes after the game for a quick interview.
I'm here with Mocs Cindy Gomes. Cindy, you had a great game today, 17 points, career high night. Just run us through that.
Honestly, a lot of it was just letting it come to me. I didn't go my way in the first half, really. But, I mean, teammates just kept me up, kept playing, played together, played hard, and just had fun out there.
And Cindy, you did a great job in that fourth quarter. 3 assists, really simulated that comeback for the team. What went into that facilitating?
Yeah, I mean, that was just making plays, big-time players making big plays. I mean, everyone got open, knew their role. I found the open shooters and open dishes, and they executed.
And you're talking about everyone doing their role, and you guys did that in the last 2 games to get big wins in conference. How are you guys hoping to keep that rolling in conference play going into the end-of-season tournament?
I think we're kind of finally feeling ourselves as a team again. That's big for us coming towards the end. We're not looking in the past anymore. It's just what's ahead, and we're going to get a playoff spot and continue our run here.
Awesome. Thank you, Cindy. Back to you guys.
The Mocs then took on Lynn and Boca in what was yet another down-to-the-wire matchup for Florida Southern. The Mocs started off the matchup strong, finding themselves up because of their efficient shooting above 50% from the field in the first half. This paired with allowing only 21 first-half points to the Lynn Knights, putting the Mocs up 35-21 at half and on track to get a huge in-conference victory over a strong Lynn team. Lynn didn't let that lead last for long, though, as they stormed back in the second half with a newfound defensive pressure and corresponding offensive success. In the second half, the Mocs shot below 25% from the field compared to Lynn, who shot above 40% from the field and 55% from 3. Lynn, with their newfound life, outscored the Mocs 35-19 in the second half to give themselves a 2-point lead going into the final seconds of play after a clutch 3 from Cindy Gomes. The Mocs then had one final chance to get even with Lynn or take the win after a free throw make by the Fighting Knights. They inbounded the ball, looking for a scoring opportunity after advancing the ball with their final timeout. Zamora, the inbounder, passing it to Gomes, who then passed it back out to Zamora for it to bounce off the rim, the third missed buzzer beater for the Mocs, leading to a 2-point in-conference loss. Here are the conference standings, and as you can see, the Mocs sit at 8th in the conference still and will take on Florida Tech at home tonight in what will prove to be a crucial game in securing the last seed in the conference tournament. They'll tip off at 5:30.
Speaking of conference play, the swim teams competed in the always exciting conference championship. And Carl, I don't know if it's the fact that the SSC is the best swim conference in the nation or if swimmers are just an energetic bunch, but every time I see the photos from the album at the meet, I wish I was there. Just a warning, we're going to cover just the highlights, of which, there are many, but it's just impossible to cover full results. But you know where you can find them, FSCMocs.com. Let's get into it. On day 1, the number 14 ranked men fell just short of podiuming in the 800 free with a 5th place finish. The women took 3rd. And on day 2, Kyle Mikalev won his 3rd straight SSC title in the 50 free, while teammate Brandon Wilson showed off his impressive range with a 3rd place finish, an event he doesn't usually compete in. More on that later. In the afternoon, Wilson, Mueller, Villalone, and Mikalev won the 200 medley relay. On day 3, Cameron Lai Harris placed 3rd in the 100 fly, and another moccasin relay team took gold. This time, Wilson, Mueller, Lai Harris, and Mikalev in the 400 medley. Through 3 days, the men held steady in 3rd, while with a 3rd place finish and a new program record in the 400 medley relay propelled the women from 4th into 3rd, team standing wise. On day 4, Brandon Wilson, here we go again, won his first individual conference title in the 100 back and then doubled back for his and the team's 3rd straight relay championship in the 200 free. On the women's side, 𝙏𝙃𝙀 𝙎𝙉𝘼𝙆𝙀 had herself a day, setting a new program record in the 100 breast during the prelim round before earning silver in the finals. And then on the last day of competition, Kyle Mikolev placed second in the 100 free to close out a third-place finish for the Moccasin men. 𝙏𝙃𝙀 𝙆𝙆𝘼𝙆 closed out a great competition from her and the women by winning the 200 breast title. The women's team would ultimately finish fourth, just 3 points shy of the top three. Both teams will await selection to the national championship on Wednesday, February 28th.
And James, if there's one thing that RTD Nick Merritt loves more than hockey, it's playoff hockey. And that's what the Mocs are going into right now. For the second consecutive year, the College Hockey South Division 3 playoffs return to the Lakeland Ice Arena, with the winner hoisting the Pick Sweet Cup. After the Mocs regular season concluded with a 14-4 record, they clinched the second seed in the playoffs behind the Miami Hurricanes. Forward Will Marshall led the team with 34 goals, 34 assists, and 68 total points. And he concluded the regular season second in all of the CHS Division III in those categories. You can see the full playoff bracket on your screen now, and the Mocs will open up the tourney taking on the 7th-seeded Florida State Seminoles Friday at 6:30 p.m. The semifinals will be Saturday evening before the championship game will be played at 12:45 p.m. Sunday afternoon. For more details and a list of all scheduled games, you can go to the collegehockeysouth.com. There's nothing like playoff hockey.
That is right, Carl. Via Nick, who wrote that reader, the number 15 men's lacrosse team dropped their contest at number 3 Limestone 22-7. That 12-goal loss is the largest for the Moccasins since their 22-7 loss to the University of Tampa Spartans in March of 2021. Jacob Chiz went 11 for 24 at the X, while keeper Michael Simone led the team with 8 ground balls and a career-high 18 saves, just getting peppered. Bryden Robichaud led the Mocs offense with a goal and 2 assists. The Mocs will stay on the road to take on Flagler College this Saturday.
And this past weekend, the beach volleyball team continued their strong start to their 2024 season, capturing a pair of wins on Saturday afternoon, taking down Ave Maria University 4-1 before defeating the host Palm Beach State College 3-2 and moving their record to 4-0 on the season. Off the 10 total pairings on the day, the Mocs only saw 3 games go to 3 sets, only dropping 1 of the 3. This Saturday, your Mocs will be back on the sand right here at home to battle it out against Barry University as they go for their 5th straight win.
The track team made the short trip over to Tampa for their first outdoor meet of the season in what was a night best remembered for its pouring rain and gritty performances from both teams. They both had multiple top 10 finishers, not quite the record-breaking that we've gotten used to. The Mocs men found a way to make history still, though, despite the conditions, with Anthony Matthews' 14:55 5K making him the 4th Moc to dip under 15 minutes, the most under Lavastier's tenure as head coach. The Mocs will return to Tampa in 2 weeks and will be looking towards better weather and more records.
The tennis team picked up their first wins of the season against PBA. The women dropped the doubles point before picking up 5 of the 6 courts. And after quick victories on the 1st, 3rd, and 6th courts, Jolie Miller and Kelly Claren were still competing on the 4th and 5th. Their matches ended up going to the tie-breaking set, and they both picked up dubs to defeat PBA 5-2. The men had similar success when they traveled to PBA as well and picked up a win behind a dominant doubles performance from returners Chris Fotkow and Matteo Feggi, and wins on all but the 1st court and singles play. The women will be back in action at Embry-Riddle this afternoon, and the men will open their home season against Bates College tomorrow, the 22nd.
The softball team had a major bounce back this past weekend in their series at Florida Tech. The Mocs, coming off a disappointing series against a strong West Florida Argonauts team, they stumbled at first, but ultimately came away with a series W. In the first game of the matchup, the Mocs were just unable to get their bats going, scoring just 2 runs in their 3-2 loss. But after that, they were red hot in their doubleheader, scoring 10 runs and 7 runs respectively, winning both 10-2 and 7-5 to start in conference play on a high note. They will return to action this weekend, starting Friday at home against Barry, looking to continue their winning ways in the conference.
The women's golf team hosted the Lady Moc Classic at Grasslands Golf and Country Club right here in Lakeland, Florida. After day 1, they finished middle of the pack as they are in the 8th place out of 16 teams with a score of 17 over par, led by Ava LaBelle, Ashley Angelo, and Margot Bonifay, who are all tied for 23rd after carding scores of 4 over par. After round 2 was suspended on Monday, all the teams had an 8 a.m. shotgun start yesterday morning to conclude the Classic. This event ended after our production time, so for final results, you know where to go, fcmocs.com.
The number 10 men's golf team was on the road at the St. Leo Invitational at the Lake Havita Golf and Country Club. They sit in 7th place after posting a score of 2 over in day 1 after their second round was suspended due to darkness. Max Barriel leads the Mocs as he's tied 16th with a score of 1 under, but not far behind him is Dante Grapusso, who is tied 21st with a score of par. They are back in action yesterday at 8:30 a.m., but once again they finished after our production time, so you know where to go. Final results, fscmocs.com.
And that is this week's edition to Snakebite. Be sure to tune into baseball action this weekend at Barry, and make sure to tune into the rest of the mock sports here, whether that's softball, basketball, baseball, or swim in future postseason play. But quick shout out here to Billy Adams. He's been a major contributor to not only FSC TV, but also the Florida Southern Athletic Communications Department. Shout out Billy onto bigger, brighter things, and make sure to tune into his future endeavors. We'll be here on the Snakebite.